Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Doctor Who Reviews, and welcome back to the War Games.
Yay.
Episode 6 to 10. I'm not yaying after watching this.
Yay, anyways. I demand it.
I remember this being better than it actually was for some reason.
The memory does that to you. With
Maybe that's just nostalgia talking.
Yeah, mood. See, everyone who ever watched, the Tomb of the Cybermen episode.
Yeah, I felt quite badly on that when I selected it, but
well, I mean, this wasn't as bad as that, but there were a few things related to that.
Oh, that one character though. That one character.
Yeah. We're gonna have to talk about that, but
unfortunately. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm joined by my two usual co-hosts to discuss the War Games. Firstly, to my virtual left, coming to you live from a very snowy anime den in Newfoundland, it's Freezing Inferno.
Hello, I'm at the Chateau of BlazeFury. I left my home to escape a freezing rainstorm, which is good because the power's been out back home since 5 a.m. and won't be back until midnight tonight. So that's it's good that I'm here where there's heat and light and a man who's about to cook for me. And keeping the trope alive right now, he is playing Master Duel.
Nice.
Can I say, it's just really good. It's actually cold outside because then all of the food in your fridge won't go bad.
Yeah, that's
true.
That's something.
True.
That's good.
I could go on a rant about Yu-Gi-Oh decks and being forced to abandon certain reliable decks that I've used for years, but I won't.
I mean, it's never stopped you before.
Yes, but I have a podcast to do. And to my virtual right, when you see her coming flying down the road, you know she ain't afraid to lay it down. It's Kat.
So, I'm going to change what I said last time, and I'm going to say something different. I hate spring. We're going to have a summer wedding for my green card.
Okay, honey. Whatever you say. That's how marriage works, right?
Yes.
That's how you survive a marriage to me, at least.
Wait. You should know how marriage works. You've seen WandaVision.
Yes, because I've seen a TV show that happens to be about marriage. I know how marriage works.
I mean, I watched a TV show about seeing magical girl lesbians, and now I know how being gay works.
No, honey, you just have Philip for that.
There's really no response to that.
That's an old reference.
Yeah, that's an old reference.
There's really no response to that.
But, well, how about this response? Let's talk about the latter half of the War Games.
We continue with the War Games then, yes. There's not really any more background to talk about. Let's just get straight into the episode. So when we last left off, everyone was dead.
Except they weren't.
Except they weren't.
No, their condition was upgraded to alive.
We actually experienced the Doctor Who cliffhanger in real time. We waited a week for the next episode, and it turned out, they weren't dead after all.
And that was cool waiting for a week, but yeah, they weren't dead after all. They were pronounced dead, then they were taken to a better hospital where Dr. Stoke had their condition to alive.
Jesus.
Yeah, they were just stunned.
I declare this guy dead. Doctor, you've had like 15 vodka cranberries. I know what I said.
Yeah, but they're not dead. They were simply stunned, which is a bit of a cop-out, but it's good that Joey didn't get killed.
Yeah, I mean, it's old Doctor Who. Half the cliffhangers in the show are, oh no, someone's been shot. Oh, they're just stunned. I was listening to a Big Finish on the way here, and that was a cliffhanger. Oh no, the Doctor and Perry have been shot. Oh, they were just stunned.
Best Big Finish cliffhanger is still the TARDIS is being stolen by an ice cream man.
Yeah, that's certainly a good cliffhanger. But,
that's still great.
But we also left the Doctor and Zoe in Carstairs, running around. They're like, "There's nothing we can do. We've got to get out of here."
Yes. And then they proceed to get out of here. What is going on with this wall? The sticky tape on the wall I've got written down here.
Oh well, that's a little bit ahead, but first,
yeah, all right. I'm jumping the gun.
There's some major bullshit that happens here that I don't know if Kat was aware of the magnitude of this particular story in its latter half.
No.
Funnily enough, we were just discussing this before you turned up, prior to the podcast going live. We were just chuckling about the fact that Cat was like, are the Time Lords involved? And then the very next episode, the Time Lords get mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. So the security chief is talking to the scientist who does all the processing. And he's letting him know his suspicions about the evil war chief, and he lets slip that the people that the alien race that the war chief belongs to is called the Time Lords.
And the war chief betrayed them.
And this is the first mention in the show of the Time Lords.
So it's not the Doctor gives it. It's not a major villain. It's Vernon Dobchev as a scientist. That is not a slight on Vernon Dobchev. He's a great actor, but he's not exactly a major role in this story.
No, he's not. Like, he's barely in it after this.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we ever see him again after this?
You see him briefly in part 7, and then he's sent away to the home planet.
Yeah.
He has to go now. His planet needs him.
Literally. But, we'll deal with the magnitude of continuity that this is dealt with, but we should probably deal with, the actual story on hand.
Can we deal with the security chief's acting? Because it's awful.
Actually, fun fact, we've seen the security chief before, it's interesting.
Oh.
He was in the Trial of a Time Lord.
Oh.
We've seen a few people in this story before.
He was the keeper of the Matrix in the Trial of a Time Lord.
Good Lord.
Oh, so no wonder he's still so useless here.
Yes, exactly.
Again, I'm not dissing the actor's acting, more like the direction he was given, but...
Anyway, the security chief thinks that the war chief brought in more Time Lords to interfere with their plan. Okay, so magnitude of the first mention of the Time Lords, even though that's important to us, and wouldn't make any sense to anyone in 1969. Rainiac, talk about the wall.
The wall? That's the wall up there, bro. The wall, yeah. So, the Doctor, Zoe and Carstairs want to get into the room where Jamie's been taken.
Oh, that wall. I thought we were talking about Pink Floyd for a second.
No, not that wall. Although that is an excellent album, but...
It is.
An excellent album that a certain someone doesn't understand.
Not that we'll ever mention that name on our podcast because he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. Right up there with talking about that classic Tom Baker story.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I'm not gonna push it. So this is just crazy. So they want to get into this room that's got guards in front of it, but obviously they can't go to the front entrance; they'll just get shot down. So the Doctor just goes round to the back wall, and he says, "Here's how we're going to get in. Doctor, are you feeling all right? That's a wall." And then he takes out some sticky tape. I didn't understand this at all.
The wall is magnetic, and he's like demagnetizing part of a panel
with sticky tape.
Can open it. With sticky tape, which he's sticking wires to, and then he's using the sonic to demagnetize it.
He said he would reverse the field with the sonic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but reversing the field does not demagnetize it. But never mind.
Look. Think of it in John Pertwee terms. He's reversing the polarity of the neutron flow.
I guess he kind of is. Yeah. And then we get a really funny visual effect when the chief scientist is scanning the Resistance members' brains.
Oh, this is weird.
So they're not dead. This is when you find they're not dead. They were just stunned. He puts them in the chair. He puts the silly helmet on that the security chief had. And it just shows up like a overlay of the brain on their brain.
I have to say, I love this image because it looks like it's straight out of Psychonauts.
Yeah.
It's just a wrinkly old ass curvy round brain. It's just so weird.
But my favourite bit is when he gets to Jamie, and to show that he's not been processed or his brain's different, his brain scan looks different. It looks like a Wheel of Fortune puzzle.
No, you know what? It looks like a bunch of blocks, so he really is a blockhead.
We should mention that the reason this guy is scanning the people's brains is the security chief told him, look, some of these people have been processed. I want you to scan their brains before you process them to see if any of them are not processed.
Yeah, and the war chief catches him in the act.
And he's like, what the hell are you doing?
But the scientist proves to be cleverer than most of the other people in this story on the side of the villains because he manages to bluff the war chief into not giving the game away.
Somehow.
He is suspicious. The war chief is suspicious of him, but he doesn't question it.
Less smart is one soldier named Moore.
Oh, God. Yeah, I think Kat probably noticed this.
Guarding Von Vike.
Yeah, but we should talk about who's playing this private.
Who's playing him?
Patrick Troughton's son.
Oh, interesting.
Who we've seen in Midnight.
And
Very interesting.
And Last Christmas?
No, that wasn't him. That was his brother.
Okay, that was the other Troughton.
That was Michael Troughton.
Right.
Who I think they've now got to be the voice of the Second Doctor on Big Finish.
Who haven't they got to do shit on Big Finish? But, yeah. So Von Vike is like, I'd like a glass of water. So the guy with the gun tries to get it, and like the moment he looks away, the guy's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the video phone and call for help." And he's like, "No."
He manages to stop him.
Which, competent, good. There's some competence. Shame we won't see much competence in the future here, but
we'll return to Private Moore in the barn.
Yeah.
We'll return to Private Moore in the barn later. But back at the at HQ at the central control of the villains, Jamie is being questioned by the security chief, and his
decides to do this stupid thing and just basically say, admit you were sent here by the war chief, and it's like they weren't. So Jamie can only say, "No one sent us here."
Yeah, remember that the helmet means you can't tell a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So when Jamie says he wasn't summoned by anyone, he's telling the truth.
Yep.
But also the stupidity of, admit it, you were sent here by the war chief.
And the war chief
comes
in.
Right behind me, isn't he?
How did this guy get promoted to security chief when he is just dumb?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Meanwhile, back at the competent villain, the chief scientist, well, it doesn't go well for him either, because Carstairs just comes into the room when the war chief has left him to go and talk to the security chief, just takes out the guy that's working with the scientist and holds the scientist at gunpoint.
It's really funny because the doctor comes in and he's like, "Oh, I think you need this piece next." And he's like, "Oh, thank you." And then he looks over. It's like, it's the doctor.
It's you. But we don't see much of Vern Dobchev after that.
No.
He is alive, but we don't see much of him after that. So why did they go into this room then? Well, it wasn't to rescue Jamie because Jamie's not there. He's being interrogated in another room. It was to try and save the Resistance members. Because if you remember a previous part, the Doctor had this grand plan to organise the Resistance into a big force.
Yes.
So they get the Resistance men up at their feet. Carstairs is once again badass and just shoots a guard dead that comes in.
Yes. And also, the Warlords continue to be helpful because when they interrogated Zoe and showed her all the Resistance leaders and said, "Who's your leader? Who are you working with?" Zoe memorized all of them.
Is this a thing she could do? That she had a good memory?
Yes.
I don't think it was intentional.
No. I think this is a thing that she's done.
I think she's had a great memory before.
Yeah, so
okay.
It's just,
I can accept that.
It's more of a question of the villain's plan backfiring than anything else.
Well,
because they didn't know she had this great memory.
Well, oopsie doopsie. Either way, they have a little advantage now.
Meanwhile, what's going on with Private Moore? Oh, he's being hypnotized. Great.
Oh, son, can I have my monocle? I really want my special monocle.
You are in the British Army. I am your commanding officer. It doesn't work on him straight away to his credit.
I mean, I get that these are like humans from differing times, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure where this guy specifically is
19th
from.
century.
I'm not sure specifically where this guy is from.
Okay.
But you would think that he would at least have the mental capacity to be like, "Oh, hey, he only started to do this after I gave him his monocle." maybe I should take it away.
Well, I guess he's already
he
in
hasn't
the power
got
of the
that.
mind.
He hasn't made that leap in logic yet.
It also happens again later with somebody else, where it's just like take it away, but they never do.
So after a brief struggle, he falls under the spell of Von Vike,
Bastard.
which is a problem.
Well, that'll be a problem later. But meanwhile, this is a pretty funny little scene that comes up.
Oh, I love
the security chief brings his guards in and to the processing room, and the doctor and co aren't there. And he's like, they've gotten away. They must have used a space-time machine. Aha! The war chief, you're behind all this. And the war chief just walks to the wall and opens the panel and is like,
There's your space-time machine.
You fucking
Can I just say, I love the shade that the war chief is continuously throwing at security chief in this story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it kind of ends very, very badly for both of them.
It does, but I love the fact that he's just like, you bumbling fool.
You pissant.
He gets some great insults that are like, really clever and wordy. Without even using any swear. Well, you couldn't use swear words in 1960s BBC television anyway, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Let Doctor Who say fuck.
I wasn't going to go that far.
Say fuck.
I wasn't going to go that far. So
it should be Peter Capaldi.
The war chief has found the exit, so he and the security chief leave. And then we get a really cute little ruse by the Doctor and company. They went into a room where there was like a load of uniforms, spare uniforms. So in order to not get accosted by the security chief's guards, they just wandered around as British soldiers.
Mummy?
Oh, don't.
Mummy?
Don't.
Going for the low-hanging fruit.
Doctor Who low-hanging fruit alert.
Whoop, whoop,
well,
whoop,
jumping
whoop.
Jack Flash is a gas.
Cat!
Are you still stuck on Elite Beat Agents?
Oh, no, I finished it ages ago. I just need to find my copy of it, because I want to play it again.
Cat?
So,
it's a guess? Really?
Well, no, it's more of a gas mask, but
I know, but anyway, they disguised as these soldiers, they managed to find a rescue chamber. Even Zoe's disguised, which is cute.
But why are you wearing a gas mask? Because of the gas.
Oh, God bless Johnson for giving it his all in that scene.
You're insane.
Double thumbs up, yeah. It's a shame that finale is tainted because of John Barrowman, but whatever.
That's unfortunate.
It's not John Sims' fault.
Well, instead of talking about semi-old Doctor Who, let's talk about actually old Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Remember 1969 when the show was good?
Let's leave wistful pining for the David Tennant era to Chris Chibnall. Huh?
Yeah. And possibly RTD if the fan rumors about David Tennant coming back are any.
They're not accurate.
She said it. She said it on the air.
I will die on this hill. They're not accurate.
All right. Is this making the edit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, making the edit.
Of course, it's making the edit.
I thought you were like, no.
It's not accurate. I will die on this hill. He is not the next Doctor.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely no way that they would make him the next Doctor unless they're absolutely completely insane. But it is the BBC.
Now a curator type situation where he's temporarily the Doctor for the 60th. On the other hand,
that could work.
Honestly, I don't want him in the 60th at all because it just feels too much.
He will be in the 60th.
I know, right? Like I've been saying.
But if he is in the 60th as the 10th Doctor, he can't be the next Doctor, which is good.
Well, I mean, it could be like the curator's thing. Oh, I'm going to try on an old face and all the confusion. Oh, look, I don't see. Woo-hoo.
Honestly, I think it should just be the copy Doctor from Rose's dimension.
Whatever. And then we get a couple of fight scenes. And the Doctor does a really clever thing here because guards do get into the control room, but he manages to use a force field to stop the rest of them. So it's just like two guys, and the soldiers that the Doctor's got on his team manage to just knock the two guys out, no problem. There are no casualties on the Doctor's side.
But he's not leaving just yet.
They go into
He
one of
has
the time
something to get.
machines, which I'll say right now because they say it in the next part anyway, is a Sid rat.
It's fucking TARDIS spelled backwards.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking space in dimension relative in time.
It's like the meme about TNA wrestler Relic. That's killer spelled backwards, Mike.
Oh my god.
That's TARDIS spelled
Red
backwards,
rum.
Mike.
Red rum.
And when I say Mike, I don't mean our Mike.
Which Mike are you talking about then?
Mike Tenay.
I see.
But yeah,
I'll pretend to know who that is.
He's a commentator. Sid Rat, as you say, TARDIS spelled backwards. Zoe and some of the soldiers are sent into the Sid Rat. The Doctor says, I'll be along in a few minutes. I want to get that processing machine first. So Jamie and Carstairs, who is still a badass, by the way.
Still good. Oh yeah.
They stay behind to help him. And then they do a really clever thing once the Sid Rat has left. It's like, the guards want to get in. Well, let's let them. And they just turn the force field off. They just charge out into the room, right past them.
Let's go get the intruder. Wait, where are they? Oh, they went that way.
It would have been even better if
Where'd
he then turned the force field back on to trap them in the room. But they just want to get out of there and get to the processing machine. We'll get back to that in a second because that's the cliffhanger. But first, what's going on in that barn?
Oh no, Moore is turning on them.
He's brainwashed at this point. Von Vijk...
Curse your sudden by inevitable betrayal.
It's not really a betrayal if he's coerced into it.
Yeah.
And he does make up for it.
Well,
yeah,
he'll
in
make
about
up for
a minute's
it,
time. But
first...
We're gonna break that button if I had it still.
Yeah, well, we didn't.
You are just making the editing so much more time consuming. So thanks for that. But
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Russell comes out of the Sid Rat first, and there's Moore, and Moore has just given Von Vijk his rifle because he asked him for it. But then, when Von Vijk sees Russell coming towards him, and obviously Resistance leader, he gives Moore back the rifle and says, "Right, shoot him, he's an enemy."
I don't think he ever actually took the rifle. I think he was in the process of handing it over when the I can't the time machine comes back.
I can understand you not calling it a Sid Rat because Sid Rat's stupid.
I just it sounds like if somebody crossed over Sid from Toy Story and Ratatouille. I'm sorry.
I mean, don't, because you didn't come up with this; they did.
Also, I'm going to have to make that Photoshop now, just so you know.
Thank you.
Be my guest. So Russell tries to talk Moore down, and Von Vijk's like, "It's no use. He won't listen to you." Haha. And there's a fight. Russell prevails in the end. He disarms Moore and knocks him to the ground. Moore, by the way, has been brainwashed to think he's 1871, so I don't know what exactly time he's really from.
Yeah, and just because of the fact that there's no color, it's hard to tell exactly what sort of costume he's wearing.
Yeah, the uniform is hard to make out.
Yeah.
But then Von Vijk gets is about to shoot at Russell, and all looks lost, and a gunshot rings out, and Von Vijk falls dead.
Good.
Yay!
And Moore shot him.
Hey.
And he's quite concerned about what he's doing. So I had to shoot him, didn't I? He says, "You did, lad. You just saved us all. Well done."
Hooray.
We don't see Private Moore again, but he did save the day.
God.
Yay!
So the end of the story, the end of part 6 here is real wild.
Oh God, yes.
So the Doctor gets the processing machine. He also takes some gas-filled valves.
That's what he says.
And he basically uses them as gas grenades. Because they get back to the landing bay for I'll say them, Sid Rats. And and he drops the gas bombs as the guards come in and stuns the guards. And they're like, and they run right into the thing. But as it's going, it stops going. And then we hear the security chief ringing out through the PA. "Surrender now or you'll be destroyed."
And then the
like,
war
well,
chief
all we
makes
gotta
things
do...
worse.
Yeah, they're just like, oh well, all we got to do is just hang out in here for a while. We don't need to come out and surrender. And the war chief's like, you think?
Oh, do you now?
And so he starts messing with the dimensional controls to make the Sid Rat smaller on the inside.
He reduces the dimensions, is what he says.
Yeah, smaller on the inside.
You have 30 seconds to surrender or be crushed to death.
Dun dun dun.
Also, this is where the first really good insult to the security chief and the war chief comes.
Hey,
Logic
John?
seems to be your weak point. And he'll get a few more digs at him before the end.
Right. But that's the predicament. They're about to be crushed by their own little time machine.
I like this. It's
Oh, no.
Star Wars before Star Wars. It's the trash compacted what? 12 years early? No, sorry, 18 years early.
And I thought the worst chief smelled bad?
No,
sorry.
sorry. Oh, God.
8
years early, yes. 8 years early.
Brainiac knows how years work.
I thought this was 59, not 69 for a second. I'm sorry.
I know you're always thinking of 69, but you need to stop. This is your intervention.
Nice. So
Is it nice more to the number 69?
Nice.
Nice.
Okay,
So
proprietor.
episode
Okay, owner of the Jazz Club from the past show.
So the resolution to the cliffhanger is the Doctor decides to come out, and he's coming out, and he's like, "Oh, oh," and he's waving a little white flag.
Yeah, he calls it an international sign of surrender.
And so he's like, "Oh, okay, oh, I surrender. Don't hurt me. I've got the international truce flag."
Well, he's a bit more forceful than that. He's like, "What do you intend to do with us? I will not let them come out until you tell us what you intend to do with us."
And so when they're like, "Oh, you're in no position to bargain, Doctor. Surrender now," and he's like, "The hell with this!" And he throws another of those gas valves, runs to the controls, resets the dimensions, gets back in the Sid Rat, and pieces out.
Well, he doesn't just reset it. He also takes the master controls because these are just fridge magnets and they work everywhere.
And then
he did a lot in 5 seconds.
And then this is great. Once they leave, the war chief goes to this thing, and once he realizes what he's done, it's like, yes, well, I deduce the Doctor will be heading to the 1917 zone to rally his forces. So we should send our guards there. Cut into the Sid Rat. Doctor, where are we going? Anywhere but the 1917 zone, Jamie.
Yeah. It's actually the security chief that suggests the 1917 zone because he's an idiot.
Right, yeah. It's a great juxtaposition.
Also, at one point, one of the two villains calls it a side rat.
This is where it, yeah, but that's what, yeah.
But it's Sid Rat. It's spelled Sid Rat.
But it's a very silly name.
Are we all right just calling it Time Machine?
Yeah, I'll call it a Time Machine.
Okay, Time Machine. They're Time Machines.
I would lean into the Gonzo and call it Sid Rat, but who cares?
But we heard mention of another villain in an earlier part, and now he's about to arrive.
The Warlord.
Everybody get ready. It's Steve Jobs!
I see it.
The war chief is like, or the security chief, sorry, is like, the Warlord is coming. I must go and greet him. Because an alarm's going off, like to show that he's arrived or something. And then the war chief overrules him and says, "I'll go and greet him. You continue presiding over this operation." I want to kiss
up to the boss. No, I'm gonna kiss up to the boss.
Well, they might wish they hadn't.
Now, children, you can both kiss up to the boss.
So a brief scene where the time machine, I'm not going to call it by its real name. Screw it.
Thank you.
Arrives at the Roman zone, and the security chief finds out about it. It's like, right, send soldiers there to attack them, and then the Warlord actually arrives, and the Warlord is played by Philip Maddock.
The Warlord is Steve Jobs, just with more hair.
Philip Maddock. Have we done any stories with Philip Maddock in them yet?
No, because we haven't done the Big Bang.
The Big Bang.
His voice is apparently, although I don't think it was ever proved to be, but his voice is apparently the Silence Will Fall voice in the Pandora Opens.
Oh. See, I was thinking of like the 2 or 3 times he showed up in classic Doctor Who.
He showed up in the second Dalek movie.
Oh, did he? Neat.
And
I'm also thinking of a Brain of Morbius.
he's in that.
He's in the Tom Baker story, The Brain of Morbius.
He was a very good actor, so it makes sense he'd be in multiple
a story
stories.
we have not covered yet, and he was in some other Tom Baker story, I think.
Okay.
He's in like 2 or 3 or 4 stories like that.
I don't think we covered him until this point, but
yeah, but he's good.
This is the big bad of the story, technically.
This is the mastermind of the war game.
Yeah, the Warlord.
Yeah.
And honestly, wouldn't it be, given that we now know that the War Chief is a Time Lord, wouldn't it make more sense for this guy to be the War Chief and the War Chief to be the Warlord?
I can go either way on that.
Is this a Balrog, Vega, and Bison situation all over again? Which confused fighting game players so much they had to call them Boxer, Claw, and Dictator.
See, for you, the day you got confused by names was the most important of your life, but for me, it was Tuesday.
I'll just let that play out because I love that reference every time it's mentioned.
I mean, you gonna deny the last great acting chops of Raul Julia?
I mean, no.
Oh, why did that have to be his last movie?
Because he wanted.
Because he was leaving a present for his children.
Yeah.
Fuck his children.
He asked his children, what would you like Daddy to act in for his final film? And they picked Street Fighter.
That was his dying present to his kids. He's like, all right, I'm going to be dead, but I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to act like this is Royal Shakespeare.
He gives it his all in that film.
I mean, I guess, but also, seriously.
I cannot
For
dislike...
I beheld Satan as he fell from heaven.
I cannot dislike the Street Fighter movie for that reason.
Quick, change the channel.
Also, Quick Change the Channel is one of the best gags I've ever heard.
Yeah, that is one of the best gags.
So, back to the Doctor Who.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah. It's great because so the Doctor and Co. They're not landing in the 1917 zone, but they're landing just outside the barrier to the 1917 zone in the Roman zone. So they're like, "Oh, hey, I remember this ridge. We were here before when the Romans attacked us."
Oh,
hey, I remember that footage.
I remember the stock footage. Yeah. Do you remember we talked about with the scene last week with the screwdriver, how that was stock footage reused, and I brought up the Addams Family?
Yeah.
I did not know this was going to be used as well.
It gets funnier. I've noticed some stock footage in the final part.
Okay. Because
I'll point
this is literally the same shots used for the part 2 cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So
it's like that's the only reason I have a problem with it. Stock footage, great, fantastic. It means you don't have to go and do stupid shit.
Meanwhile,
but also try.
I kind of love the direction on this next scene, where you got the war chief on the left of the frame, the security chief on the right of the frame, and then there's the warlord in the middle, and the two of them are bitching at each other. Oh, you fucked this up. No, you fucked it up. You're the incompetent one. And then it zooms in on the warlord, and it's like, I've had enough of this bickering.
Yes.
It's really effective. They do it again later on when they do the same.
That is good framing, yeah.
Really good framing.
Yeah, as the Doctor and Co. are heading to the 1917 zone, well, the warlord decides to they decide to inform one of their guys. And so, welcome back to the series, General Smythe.
Can I also mention the Warlord gets a really cool line to his two subordinates?
Yeah.
When he shuts down the argument between them, you have a choice: cooperate or be replaced.
Which, you know what replace means in this context.
In one line of dialogue, the Warlord is a more effective villain than the other two have been the entire story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, he is supposed to be the big bad, so...
Oh, yeah. So cross him at your peril.
He better be. He better be, like, really bad at it.
And yeah, General Mutton Chops is back because they escaped the Romans through the mist, and they're back at the 1917 zone, and are immediately picked up on radar.
And General Smythe's like, oh, good. Let's kill them with machine gun turrets.
They've arrived just in front of a machine gun emplacement.
Which,
great.
Good. Zoe and her resistance pals knock out the machine gunners from behind, but bad. The Doctor, Jamie, and Carstairs get captured.
I feel sorry for the two gunners here, because they're not part of it. They're just doing what they think is their orders.
It's almost like that's the point of the story.
At least then they get knocked out and not killed, but still.
But
It's
then,
okay. It's okay, Rainiac. They got knocked out, but they'll get up again. You're never gonna keep them down.
goddamn.
I appreciate the fact you made that reference of all people here.
I appreciate the fact that song is apparently a leftist anthem.
Is it? I've just thought it was football.
Or an anarchist anthem, something like that. There's a difference between leftism and anarchy, but you know.
Yeah.
I can't remember, and I'm on vacation, so I can't really Google.
Let's not go into it now. It's not important.
Let's go into another.
It's important, but not in the context of this podcast.
Let's go into another great line where General Smythe has the Doctor and Co there, and it's like, "You've caused me a lot of trouble. Good."
Yeah. So they are brought before General Mutton Chops here. And
I mean, you're not wrong.
And Carstairs is like, "Hey, Major Barrington, you know that you're being conned by an alien, right?" And so Mr. Mutton Chops puts on his glasses. "I'm not an alien. I'm your commander, and these people need to be shot. Ooh, do what I say."
Again, just take the glasses off of him.
Take the glasses off! Take them off!
God damn it! You gave him a fucking out. You made the same joke twice in 2 weeks.
No, it was slightly different.
Yeah, same thing. But I will say, I was thinking the same thing, Kat. Then I realized the Doctor and Co are being held at gunpoint by soldiers, so they can't exactly just slap the glasses off his face.
He says that
they
Carstairs is delusional.
They get shot, but they could.
Yeah, well then that'd be a pretty quick ending to the war game.
So magic glasses come out. They're taken away to be shot. Well, the Doctor's going to be shot because his execution order still stands.
Yes.
No, it's not even just that. Smythe is just being petty.
An asshole.
He's just like, "I really want to kill you. I don't." And the Doctor tries to say, "Well, you know, your superiors are going to want to know I'm here because I'm an important man. They're going to want to capture me. I don't care. You made me look bad, so I'm going to shoot you dead." So
and he actually lies.
And then he goes back into his room and he reports to them, "Hey, I caught these guys." And they're like, "Good. We need you to bring them here." The Doctor died on his way here, so...
No, it's even better than that. He's just like, "Oh yeah, I shot the Doctor. Oh, did you get the processing machine back? No, we still haven't had the chance to look for it, but I'm sure it'll turn up. I'll be back." Smythe comes up to Jamie and Carstairs and is like, "Hey, where's that processing unit?" Like, "I'm going to tell you. Only the Doctor knows.
Oh, Carstairs plays
you're
a
about to have him
here.
shot and killed."
He plays a blinder here to save the Doctor.
Aye.
I love it.
So he says, as you rightly say, he says the Doctor knows where it is, and he'll never tell. And we don't know, and if you kill him, you'll never find out. It's like, "Squad, attention! Stop the execution!"
Well, luckily for him, the Resistance stops the execution.
Yay!
And so this is, again, when we were talking about the John Pertwee Seaboy story, with that Walker, that
Yes.
gross-ass guy who, like, folded like wet tissue paper when the pressure was on. Smythe is kind of the same thing in this part. He's like, "I'm going to kill the Doctor. Ooh, because I'm in charge, and I'm going to get him because I don't like him because he crossed me.
I'm being attacked. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh, send all your guards! Oh,
Help! I'm being harassed.
Help! I'm being oppressed."
Oppressed. That's it. I got it wrong. Damn it.
What?
That canary really sang at the end, didn't he?
That canary really sang at the end. We're not quite at the end yet.
I caught that, but you
a whiny little.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah. Thank you for. Yeah.
And to our virtual center, Blaze, in a surprise cameo.
I mean, hey, he's gonna let me stay here away from the freezing rain. Least I can do is let him cameo.
He made a
But
very
you're
good
freezing
point.
in Frezno. You should be used to that.
No. Freezing Rain's our team-up name on video games.
I was thinking something more like it's a pairing name, but yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
I was going with the more wholesome choice, but whatever.
You don't have the soundboard, but I'm just gonna do the best I can.
I could just put that in as well, but
it's funnier when he does it.
Yeah, he wants to team up with me in Master Duel because he's too afraid to duel me.
He's also too afraid to duel me unless he makes
I haven't made a deck yet. I'm not afraid. I just haven't had time to make a deck yet.
Sure, you haven't had time.
I mean, Cat dueled me.
Look, I have had issues with my hard drive for the entire week, so
Sure, you
let's
have.
not go there.
Okay.
Let's not go
Okay,
there.
well-
All right.
Okay, we'll be nice to you for the time being. But anyway,
Now.
You won't,
So-
but anyway. Yeah, he returns to his office, and as Blaze has very saliently put, the canary really sang at the end there, because he's getting through to the warship and saying, "Send the guards now. We can't send the guards. Send them now. They're here." It's like, Smythe, deactivate the area control. Deactivate the area control. And as he goes to do it, Russell enters and shoots him dead. About bloody time.
thank Christ.
Yay!
Nothing of value
I've never
was lost.
been so happy.
Yeah. But, in doing so, the doctor then comes in and is like, oh, hey, what was he doing? And he shows up on the video phone showing the Warlord and everybody that the doctor is still alive. So.
Yes.
Oops.
So the Warlord is immediately like, okay, let's deal with this shit, for the love of God. And so, being a Warlord, he plans a strategic attack on the chateau to get the resistance leaders.
It's even better than that, though, because they all come up with different plans.
Yeah.
The security chief has got one brain cell, and his every plan is send guards.
Which is going to be funny, isn't it?
That's literally his only suggestion: is send the guards. War chief
And the
says
war
that's
chief-
stupid. An artillery barrage will wipe them all out, and the Warlord's like, "You idiot! If we do that, we'll destroy the central control unit and destroy the experiment." So no, I, being the Warlord, have come up with a much better plan: a pincer movement.
We're going to... Yeah, there you go. And there's a great little line that the war chief gets the security chief. It's like, oh, that doctor keeps surviving, huh? Yeah, only when you try to kill him.
These two just
But-
bicker constantly.
The doctor does have a good plan to get away from this pincer attack. He's messing with the area control that Smythe was messing with before he died. And as the gunfighting starts, he is keeping going. He's messing with the sonic. He's messing with it, and then all of a sudden, the gunfire stops.
It goes quiet.
What did he do?
Quiet.
He surrounded the chateau with the time mist.
Eh.
Created a little bubble of a time zone surrounded directly by it. So now, no process soldiers can get in because, as we established in the last part, process soldiers can't perceive the time mist to keep them from wandering out
Which
of their own
actually,
time
that makes me question, how did they do the pincer movement in the first place? Because they were saying stuff like Roman soldiers and other soldiers had been advancing on the chateau.
I
That's a
think
good point,
at this point it was just the 1917 troops of different lines.
I'm pretty sure that they said that they sent out different troops of different time zones.
That could be later, but you might be right.
Maybe. Either way, the warlord and the war chief and the security chief are both complaining at each other. You screwed up. No, you screwed up, you idiot. No, you screwed up, you moron. Be quiet, says the warlord. You both screwed up.
And he's not wrong.
And you both screwed up so cataclysmically that I have no choice but to take command of this and try and salvage this botch job.
Unfortunately, we don't find out his plan because they cut away.
Well, what we do find is that apparently the warlord agreed with the security chief because they send guards.
Yeah, but before that, we have a rather important scene because during the chateau siege, one soldier managed to get right into the chateau and throw a grenade. And I think it's Carstairs just drags him inside, and the grenade rolls to Jamie, and Jamie hooks it out and it explodes. So now they've got a captive.
Hey,
And that's just what the Doctor needed.
Hey,
And guess who plays the captive?
uh-oh.
who's that?
We've done it
Who?
again, people!
Oh no, who is it?
It's
no.
Peter Craze from Nightmare of Eden.
Oh my god.
What shit?
Who is Peter Craze in Nightmare of Eden?
The other customs man.
I see.
Well, shit.
Not Fizz, Costas.
I see. So not the bureaucratic. I want a promotion.
No, the one that actually tried to do things to help.
The one that actually, cared.
The one that tried to stop
Yes.
people from getting killed.
I see.
Yeah, him.
So the cop that's the cop that is not as much of a bastard as all cops appear to be.
Again, he wasn't a cop, but whatever. He was playing like a cop.
So
this captured soldier is not named, but he's named as DuPont in the credits.
Oh yeah,
and they basically have confused French noises for a minute. But he's deprocessed. That's the point. And just as he's deprocessed, that's when a time machine turns up.
And here comes the
guards.
And the doctor gets captured, and they take the processing machine. Even the security chief is here too, is overseeing it.
He's the one that takes the doctor prisoner. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they take him prisoner. They take back the processing machine, and they dematerialize. And oh no, Doctor Who's been kidnapped. End part 7.
So part 8 then.
I kind of love the opening to part 8. The Doctor has just been captured, and he walks out of the time machine, and he's like, "It's okay, guards. I'm not gonna hurt you."
Yes. I mean, given what he pulled last time, you can hardly blame them for being a bit cautious.
I mean, I just find that funny, you know. We've captured the fugitive. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Wow, we've captured the fugitive, Doctor.
Oh.
That just makes me think. That just made me think of the Harrison Ford movie, the one where he dives off a dam.
Damn.
And that's based on a TV series.
Yeah, and that became my favorite Milhouse Gets Owned joke in The Simpsons. My glasses.
Oh my god.
This is my favorite Milhouse Gets Owned joke. But anyway.
So this is the final appearance of the chief scientist. And he doesn't actually appear. It's just the last mention of him. He was seen briefly in part 7 just skulking around. Not really doing anything.
Yeah.
He's sent back to
their
home planet.
And then they handed the machine to him.
Yeah. He's sent back to their home planet to mass produce the processor. And then, as is the case with this, we've got the Doctor or somebody being questioned by the security chief. There is so much repetition in this story.
Hey, 10 parts.
10 parts.
I just had to eat.
I know. I kind of scoffed when Kat said last week it should have been cut down to about 5, but no, she was right.
Yeah. It could have been cut down a lot.
Good grief. Russell set up a machine gun to guard against future time machine incursions at the chateau. And then the security questions the Doctor, and the silly helmet doesn't work.
Uh-huh.
It's about time, again.
Oh, because... Yeah.
And it doesn't work because
there's a reason for it.
Time Lords can resist the helmet. If they choose to.
I just want to highlight that this show we get to do weekly lets us say things like that Time Lords can resist the helmet if they choose to.
Yeah.
That's a sentence that we get to say on the show.
It also allows us to say such wonderful lines like, I don't know, David Cameron fucked a pig.
I'm particularly fond of Doctor Who Mirror Alert.
Jesse Cox is a furry.
Wow, you said it, not him.
Definitely not strippers.com.
And now I'm marrying you. Fuck.
And my favourite utterance, Back to the Living by Krista Mittier.
Hey!
Very good. Very good.
I'm so glad one of you got where I was going with that.
Yeah.
You set it up and I'll knock it over. So
back to the story.
The silly helmet just it does not work, and the war chief comes and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And he makes a mistake, a pretty big mistake in the long run. He admits to the security chief that he and the Doctor are the same race.
Oops.
But he also orders him to be released. And we'll get to their little confrontation a bit later on, because back at the chateau, Russell's got a plan. Remember that Zoe memorized all the resistance leaders in her head?
Yes.
Well, the one with the largest resistance force is the Mexican Civil War soldier Arturo Villa.
Oh boy.
Yeah, not a fan of Arturo very much, but before that can happen, Time Machine comes out and a guard just shoots the two machine gunners dead. And Carl says, blows it up.
Yeah, at first Russell shoots at the guy. Does he get the first guy, or
no?
the
first guy runs back into the machine. Then he pops back out and shoots the two machine gunners.
Then he shoots behind cover in the time machine, and then Carstairs runs in and throws a goddamn grenade inside the time machine.
He is so good in this.
Boom.
Love it.
He is just like not taking any crap anymore.
He's so good.
And then the machine just leaves after presumably the pilots have been blown up.
Another thing for the soundboard. Well, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah. I don't think I have that on the soundboard or on my computer, unfortunately.
I'll save, or I'll share it with you.
Oh no,
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
See, I can do Doctor Who Mirror Alert with my voice, so I don't miss the soundboard too badly.
So the War Chief has had the Doctor released from the War Room. I love the fact that he's been taken to the War Room because Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah. Actually, that film came out before this, didn't it?
You can't find it here, gentlemen. This is the War Room.
Yeah. It was in '63. If I recall, or '64.
Which makes sense because Von Veidt was like Doctor Strangelove, and also Dr. Ringo Strangelove in Nightmare of Eden. We've done it again.
Oh my god.
That's his new name.
I can't remember what his actual name is now.
Fuck if I know.
Fuck, it was
What the hell was it? It wasn't Trask. That's somebody from the X-Men.
Trist.
That's it.
Trist, yes.
Yes, because we couldn't call him that because his name is
And
Trist.
just like we can't call the time machine Sid Rats.
Yeah.
And knowing me, I'm going to call them Sid Rats 2 times.
I will say this: the little confrontation here the War Chief's got with the Doctor is very interesting.
It is.
I mean, it's interesting in the retrospect because it's setting up some things that we take for granted now. The War Chief knows exactly who the Doctor is, even though he's changed his face. And apparently he left his home planet. And the Doctor says, I had every right to leave. And apparently both of these people, it is said, for the first time in the show, stole TARDISes and ran away from their home planet.
Why, it's almost as if the War Chief is a dark mirror of the Doctor.
Bam, 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 bam. Yeah.
This is the best noise.
Yes. Just doing all the soundboard shit with my mouth.
It's just very interesting though, isn't it? How the War Chief gives the reason why he left. Also, the Doctor gives the reason why the War Chief left, and it's power. The War Chief left because of power.
And also, I just want to say, this isn't the thing of the story, but Terrence Dix was a co-writer on this, along with Malcolm Hull.
Yeah?
Terrence Dix then went on to, or even though I think by this point he was a script editor, showrunner of the show, sort of thing. What happens 2 years after this? His friend Robert Holmes introduces a character, a dark mirror of the Doctor, called the Master.
Did he escape?
Yes.
Okay.
He escaped.
Also, I just whacked my my headset. I still come up pretty clearly.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. Don't knock on wood your headset.
And we do learn the scheme that the Warlord has here. Because it's not just the war games. The war games are a means to an end.
Dick domination!
It's survival of the fittest. Because the ones that survive, are intelligent. They've got the most bravery. They'll be perfect for our army. And they're going to make an army of brainwashed humans to take over the galaxy.
Why humans? Why? Oh, they're the perfect savage race. They're so very good at war and conflict. So they're perfect to become an army with which to conquer the galaxy. And apparently the War Chief is trying to we talk the Doctor here because it's like, I'll bring peace to the galaxy, and you can help me. My motives are purely peaceful. Yeah, sure, Jan.
Yeah, this doesn't play.
It doesn't play,
It's
it's
just
the
does
War
not
Chief.
scan.
It's the War Chief trying to turn the Doctor to his side for reasons we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at that moment, back at the chateau, a comically large sombrero enters the picture.
Oh boy, the past was a mistake.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
This is Arturo Villa.
on the scale of like unfortunate racism in Doctor Who, this is not at the level of, say, a Tomb of the Cybermen or a but even so, it's still, it's still kind of, you just make the face.
Yeah, this is unfortunate.
Several tuggings of the collar here.
Yeah. So we have Arturo Villa. Yeah. He is he's a Mexican bandit in the sombrero, and I don't know if I very much doubt if he's played by a Mexican actor.
I will be able to tell
not
you,
just a British guy in a sombrero doing a bad accent.
Is it some guy in a sombrero, or is it an actual Mexican? Arturo Villa, come on, TARDIS Wiki, where are you?
Let's look up the actor just to make sure, but I mean...
Alright, everybody, place your bets. What do you think
Michael
it's going to
Napier
be?
Brown does not sound like a Mexican name to me.
Yep.
And I'd be right.
There you go.
Because he's married to an actress that appeared in The Doctor Dances.
Well, how about that?
Or was married. Well, sadly, he died in 2016, but he was married to an actress.
Rip in peace.
Yeah. I'm saying his name wrong, by the way. It's Arturo. It's Villar. Yeah. So it's Villar, but they say, I'm sure they say Villa.
Well, yeah. But unfortunate portrayal.
Very.
Yeah. But yeah. So he's stormed the chateau. He wakes up Zoe at gunpoint and is basically like, "I want to see your boss."
He's also a sexist asshole.
Yeah.
I think women should never think. Ugh.
I won't complain about that, because I'm going to complain about sexism in just a second.
Oh, the leader scene.
Yeah, so Zoe goes to wake up Jamie, and is like, Arturo Villa's outside, and Russell's not here. You have to pretend to be a guy, and God, she's just like, oh, I'm gonna get the transcript just so I can read this verbatim, because
there's one thing of the scene precisely that I like, and that's the fact that she introduced him by his full name.
Yeah, we're on episode 8,
and that's our leader, James Robert McCrimmon.
That's wild. Okay, let's okay, where are we? Yeah. So Jamie's like, didn't you explain to him that he's supposed to join us? Yes, I tried, but he wouldn't listen. He's got rather primitive ideas about women knowing their place. Has he now? Such sounds like a nice chap.
Jamie!
And like the way it's played, he's just like, women, am I right, fellas?
I think he was joking around, but it doesn't come across well.
The past was a mistake. And so, but this is kind of good. Jamie,
honestly, the future is a mistake as well. Let's be fair here.
James Robert McCrimmon stumbles out, and
he's got a fucking. It's just Jamie in his kilt and all, but he's got a beret on and a bandolier with grenades.
Yeah, like 2 bandoliers crossed over.
And what follows is basically just Zoe's doing all the talking, and Jamie's like, we gotta do this thing.
Yeah, Arturo likes Jamie. Like, he takes an immediate shine to him.
So yeah, they're kind of on the right foot where Zoe's actually the smart one. James is like, what she said.
Yeah, and Zoe's actually the one that convinces Arturo to stick around for the meeting.
Good.
It's going to be this big meeting of resistance leaders to figure out a plan.
Not entirely as bad as you could have been.
Back to the war chief, then.
Well, what are his peaceful intentions? Oh, taking over the galaxy and making an empire. Great.
Of course!
Great. Of course.
I'm sorry.
So this is how Liberty dies.
You did bring up Raul Julia earlier. I had to.
Thank you.
See, the only problem now is I associate that quote with somebody else.
Oh.
No, just associate it with the film.
It's hard to separate the two.
Problem solved. So yeah,
It's hard to separate the two.
I've written down here the Doctor's survival's in the balance now too. Is the War Chief actually trying to save him? No, he's just trying to betray everyone.
Well, it's both.
He says he wants the Doctor to rule the galaxy with him. I'm not sure I believe that.
I don't believe it, but
because the Warlord comes to the interrogation. It says like, "What kind of interrogation is this? You have no guards. This is not an interrogation. This is just a chat."
Yeah,
he says it's okay, Warlord. I talked to him. He's going to help us. He says, "Is he now?" Well, if you help us destroy the Resistance, you can live. If the plan doesn't work out, you're both dead to me.
And literally,
both dead. Not
you're just both dead. You're both going to be killed.
Yeah. And after he leaves, the War Chief is like, and the Doctor's like, "Why did you do that? I don't want to help you. I don't want to help the Warlord." And the War Chief's like, "Bitch, I don't want to help the Warlord either. I'm going to betray that motherfucker the first chance I get." Which, it's very important to know that he says this out loud to the Doctor right now.
Yeah.
Hint.
That will come back. That will come back to bite him.
Meanwhile, the Resistance's attack begins as they systematically invade the time zones, incapacitate the war gamers, and smash all their video phones.
This is a nice.
To say, I'm really sad that this plan doesn't work because it's actually really genius.
It is clever, isn't it? Because
and so they smash it in the Roman zone, then they blow it up in the Crimean zone. Which did anyone else see this and see a guy in a Crimean uniform pulling a dynamite trigger and think, "Oh no, the Doctor's going to say you had no right to do that. You had no right."
Oh God.
I don't get that.
I do.
War of the Centaurans.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The Crimean uniform gave it away.
See, I pushed that entire episode out of my head, so...
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
That's okay. That's okay. I pushed the last 2 episodes of Flux out of my head.
Is the correct answer. The Flux ended at the Verge of the Angels on a massive cliffhanger, and she comes back for the next story.
Wait, there were 2 episodes after the Angels?
She comes back for Eve and the Daleks.
Yeah, she got better for Eve and the Daleks. That's it.
Oh, okay.
She escaped.
That works.
I do like the montage of the Resistance attacks.
And like you said, the security chief has 1 brain cell, and he's like, the Roman zone communicator is out. Send guards. Now the Crimean one is out. Send more guards.
Yeah.
And the security chief ends up sending so many guards that there are now no guards to guard them.
Well, about that, but that's the idea, yes. The actual plan is to make that there's no guards left to attack the American Civil War zone and the barn, because that's where they plan to launch their attack.
Yeah. Well, no, the plan is to get all the guards out of the place.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
And that bit works. That part of the plan works.
Yeah. And so they are all in the barn, and then they're about to smash the last of the video phone in the barn when the Doctor comes on it.
They also kill a guy who I think was one of the war chiefs. The Warlord's men, because he goes for the screen.
Yeah,
and they shoot him dead before he can activate it. And I think because the ordinary soldiers don't know that exists, he had to have been one of the actual
that makes
oppressors.
sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Doctor's on the phone and he's basically like, "Well, I'm sending you a time machine, guys. So you should come to the base.
But only your leaders. Okay? Only the leaders for completely legitimate reasons."
Can we also talk about how the security chief is just using a neutron bomb?
Yeah. And so that's bad.
Because the war chiefs figured out their plan to draw the guards away, and the security chief is like, "We'll use a neutron bomb to wipe them all out." And the Warlord says, "As usual, both your suggestions are completely inadequate. Here's what we'll actually do."
And it'll also give the Doctor a chance to prove his loyalty.
Yeah. And that's our cliffhanger, because they all pile into the time machine when it arrives, apart from the Russian leader, Petrov.
Who I don't think we see again.
No, I don't think we do.
No, we don't see any of the other resistance.
We don't see a lot of characters again after their last appearance.
They make it back to the base, the Doctor greets them, and then they're surrounded by guards. The Doctor's betrayed them. Oh no!
First, your sudden and highly unexpected betrayal.
It's a trap.
What is... What? Oh my God! Who do you think you are, Doctor Adric? Listen, I've been watching a lot of
That
Adric.
boy was sent to his death, screaming in agony, inside of a giant-ass spaceship that crash-landed. You do not get to say shit.
Cat, I watched 4 to Doomsday like a couple weeks ago. I get to say shit about Adric. He was bad in that story.
You don't get to say shit. So says me.
Shortlist for next week, 4 to Doomsday.
You don't want to do that. You know how we're talking about Arturo? You don't want to do that.
I think he wants to do that.
Relax, I've already picked my story, and it may or may not be 4 to Doomsday.
You don't want to do that.
No, well, it may or may not. You just have to wait and see, won't you?
Well, we'll find out.
Look at me being Chris Chibnall teasing everybody. So part 9 begins with everyone very upset at the Doctor for obvious reasons.
And I mean, even after that betrayal, the security chief is like, "Oh, well, he betrayed his friends. Oh well, we don't need him anymore. Let's kill him."
Yeah, the security chief wants to kill him. Russell wants to kill him. Arturo wants to kill him.
Everyone wants to kill him, but they don't kill him.
Everybody gets to murder.
And now we find out what the war chief's deal is that the Doctor deduces as he's looking over the time machine. He's like, "Oh man, this is a real nice feat of engineering. You mass produce these things that are kind of like TARDISes, but it's really interesting you were able to make them so fast. How did you fix the problem of short of lifespan with the time controller?" Well, you see,
We'll discuss that another time, Doctor. For now, let's go someplace else, maybe.
But yeah, the Doctor says, "Aha! These time machines will only work for a short time. You don't know how to get a long-running time machine. You need my TARDIS."
And if we get away with the TARDIS together, we can conquer the galaxy.
Yeah, together, he says.
So this is interesting because it now means that they've both got power over each other.
Yes.
Right.
The Doctor has power over the War Chief because he needs the TARDIS to escape, but the War Chief can just call for the Security Chief.
Interesting.
And then we cut to where the Resistance members have been imprisoned for a while, and Russell and Arturo are like, "Death to the Doctor, death to the Doctor," and Jamie's like, "No, let's not do that. There must be a reason for this."
And so the Warlord agrees then to let the Doctor, because there's a meeting where he's like, "Okay, you betrayed your friends, but why should we keep you around?" "Well, I can improve your processing machine. I already sent my chief scientist to improve the processing machine." "Yeah, but I can improve the ones you got, and I can do it faster, and hell, I could probably do it better." And the Warlord's like, "Yeah, okay, sure, why not?"
He also gets a line where he's like, "Why have you swapped sides?" "Oh, I want to be on the winning side." Which is quite manipulative, really.
My.
Dare I say it's proto-McCoy?
Kinda.
Well, no, because McCoy's more
Maybe.
cerebral than this.
But I mean, McCoy had a lot of trout. You got it.
The Warlord actually, agrees to say, "Well, you've proved this, so I won't kill you, but we'll test your theory out on your friends."
Well, they're not my friends anymore. They're our enemies. And the Warlord's very pleased to hear that. But the security chief is a real asshole here. So he and 2 of his guards escort the Doctor to the processing room where all his pissed off, betrayed friends are. And then he's like, "Okay, I've brought you here. Unfortunately, I can't spare any guards. So I'm going to leave you to your work. Bye, bitch."
He is petty here.
Yeah.
He's basically like, "Okay, I'm going to leave you here. And these people you betrayed are going to rip your heart out."
Including Arturo.
Which Arturo is more than willing to do.
Oh, this would have been better without Arturo. But anyway.
It would have, but yeah.
Yeah.
So how are we going
And
to deal with
again,
the
the
rest
racist
with the remaining
stereotype.
resistance? Oh, that's not a problem because we got all their leaders, so they'll just start killing each other.
Well,
They've
yeah.
plunged into disorder and chaos. They haven't, but that's what they think has happened.
Well, a couple of interesting things happen here. Well, the first is that, Arturo and Russell want to kill the Doctor, and Jamie's like, no, he has a perfectly good reason. And well, they're about to rip him apart before the War Chief comes in and is like, hey, maybe don't fucking kill him. He's working with
Isn't
me.
Arturo strangling strangling the Doctor at the point that the War Chief comes in?
And the Doctor does try to explain at least. They were going to drop a neutron bomb on you, so at least this way you won't be atomized and destroyed.
It just doesn't help because, of course, nobody there except for maybe Zoe knows what a neutron bomb even is.
But meanwhile, the security chief is being a trickster of his own.
Yeah. He was taping the War Chief's conversations with the Doctor.
And so he has this technician rewind the tape because it's 1969, so he presses the button and all that. And they hear the part where he's basically like, "Oh, how can I trust you? I don't want to work with the Warlord. I don't want to work with the Warlord either. I'm going to betray him the first chance I get." And the security chief is like, "Aha! Now I
knew
have
it.
Proof."
Gotcha. But then the Doctor is starting to reprocess everybody, and I think he makes Jamie believe he's fighting the Redcoats.
Well,
he doesn't reprocess them. He basically does this to them. Nothing happens. And Jamie's like, oh, I get what the Doctor's trying to do. He's trying to make it seem like we're reprocessed.
Yeah, so he
it's
plays
a clever
along and he
scheme.
says, "I'm fighting the Redcoats."
And then
That
And
gets the War
so-
Chief to leave because it's working now. So then Zoe
then he
comes over and it's like, "I don't want to do this." And Zoe, you're fine.
And then it comes to Arturo and he does it and it's like, you're fighting with the Mexicans. I'm not doing shit. You're a betrayer and I'm going to kill you. And it's like, wait, we're playing along. Oh, it's a trick. Oh, I get it. Funny joke.
Yeah, and while that's going on, bad things are happening with the War Chief.
He comes in and he's like, how dare you pull this bullshit and try to get the Doctor killed? I'm going to go to the Warlord and tell. And security chief pulls out a reverse Uno card. Bitch.
He gets the War Chief tries to get the guards to arrest the security chief, and the guards just don't move because they now know what the War Chief has done.
Actually, you are the one who should be arrested.
Yeah, so his arrest is ordered. He's dragged away by the guards. The Doctor will also be arrested because he thinks he's a conspirator. The guards are also to go after the Resistance men, but the Resistance men fight back.
No. I think they go to arrest the Doctor as well, but they take them to the processing room where the not processed at all rebels.
Yeah, so they overpower the guards. And funny enough, the War Chief is saved by the Resistance men.
And the Doctor. They're like, yeah, okay.
Well, they've forgiven the Doctor because they accept that the Doctor, it was a ruse by him.
Yeah.
But the War Chief is the one that's behind all this. So they want to kill him.
Yeah.
But as it stands, the War Chief reveals that, I don't have any influence now because the security chief has me a wanted man. But the guards at the landing bay don't know that.
Yeah.
And also, all the soldiers down below also don't know that. So he puts out a broadcast telling all the soldiers down below to cease and desist.
Yeah. Well, that happens a little bit later, but they go to...
No, it happens in this scene.
Okay.
It does happen in this scene, yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else. Okay.
And then they're like, what do we do now? Do we just leave? And the Resistance is like, no, we need to get our weapons back. And the Doctor's like, no, we're taking the war room.
How to do that? We need our weapons back.
You can fight in here. It's the war room.
Well, they go in, and Did you notice? Okay, he's cooking dinner right now, but Blazy noticed this. When Arturo is going after the guards and he shoots, he does not remotely point his guns at the guards.
Yeah.
Well, as he said earlier, his guns never miss. And then he's like, see? They never miss.
They never miss, even though I'm pointing 45 degrees away from the.
They never miss the
dudes.
floor. He never
Is
said what
this
they
a
actually
joke?
didn't miss, so he's not
no,
technically a
see?
liar.
See, this is the gun that they used last time for Nightmare in Eden when they shot that girl.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Still not sure who messed that up, but anyway.
But anyway, yeah. So that's a funny thing, but also they overpower the guards. The security chief tries to get away, but the war chief pulls out a laser and just shit blasts him.
It's
He's
about
dead.
time. But he gets the cool laser taken away from him by Carstairs.
And now we have the driving dilemma that will pull through the rest of the story. How are they going to get all the soldiers back to their own time? They can't use the time machines that the war chief made because they're basically all burnt out.
Except for like 2.
And so the doctor has an idea, but the war chief is like, "Doctor, nope, you can't even think of doing that." But the war chief calls off the war and says all the fighting's canceled. Stop. And so the doctor is resigned to what he has to do. The only people who can fix this mess and send all the people home to their own time are the Time Lords.
Dun dun.
And so he puts some squares on the ground and he thinks really hard, and the squares become a cube.
I think it's cards. I think he puts cards on the floor.
Cards, yeah. But
Look, they're squares either way, and they make a cube.
and actually, fun fact: this got called back later in Neil Gaiman's story, "The Doctor's Wife,"
Oh, the hypercube.
where they have those same Time Lord cubes.
Yeah.
For distress calls. Yeah, that's neat. So the cube contains all of the Doctor's memory of what happened and a call for help to the Time Lords, and he's going to send it off. So as everyone watches him concentrate and create a magic cube out of nowhere, nobody was looking at the war chief, and the motherfucker got away.
The war chief tried to stop him from some of the Time Lords and was restrained, but then he magically is unrestrained and sneaks away. And he might have wished he'd stayed with the Resistance, because what happens next is horrible.
Oh dear.
So he's in the landing bay. He summons a time machine. I'm not using the name.
I know.
He summons a time machine, but he's stopped by some guards. I was like, okay, this is a bit odd. What are you stopping me for? Here's the Warlord.
Oh.
It's like, oh,
hey,
Warlord.
buddy.
Well, the troops are all revolting. The experiment is over. We have to return to our home planet immediately. Where's the security chief, war chief? Oh, the Resistance got him. Really?
Sure, Jan.
Because I heard the recordings. Uh-oh.
You broke your NDA, and therefore you must die.
I mean, don't say that.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say for yourself, War Chief? Bye, bitch. He tries to run away. He's shot down by some surprise guards.
Don't say that, Cat. Colin Baker broke NDA on the show for us.
I can't remember. Is his death actually shown on camera, or is it just like screams off screen?
No,
he flops over. He flops over.
He flops over on camera, yeah.
Blazy asked, hey, why doesn't he regenerate?
Good question.
Very good question.
I'll be asking that again in about 20 minutes.
I know you will. Well, the obvious answer is they did not have the full concept for regeneration invented yet.
Yeah.
As all that they had to go on was the fact that William Hartnell got really old and sick and turned into Patrick Troughton somehow.
There's another reason why. But I'll get
that
to that
is
later.
true. That is true.
It kind of spoils the end of it, so I'll have to wait till the end.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the war chief's done, but the resistance comes in, and there's a big fight. Once again, Arturo shoots his guns nowhere near where the guards are, but somehow guards fall over dead.
And they take the Warlord hostage.
Yeah.
And Arturo, who has one brain cell, and it's kill everyone, wants to kill the Warlord.
God almighty.
And he says, no, leave him for the Time Lords. And then he says farewell to Jamie and Zoe.
Oh dear.
What's this all about?
They insist, no, we're coming with you. And so the doctor sends the cube off, and they head into the time machine, no arguing. And the Warlord gets a pretty chilling line because Arturo's like, no, I want to kill. No.
Don't forget that Carstairs goes with them.
Yeah, Carstairs, he wants to be reunited with Jennifer for some reason.
It will never be seen again.
Yeah.
I think Jennifer disappeared after like part 4.
Yeah. Arturo really wants the Doctor to stay here, but the Doctor's like, no, I'm leaving. I'll shoot you if you leave. Well, you're going to have to goddamn shoot me then, because I'm leaving.
Yeah, and Russell has to stop him from shooting in the back.
But as they leave, the Warlord gets a line to Arturo. He's like, don't feel so bad. When the Time Lords get him, he'll wish he were dead.
Wow.
So Dr. Jamie, Zoe, and Carstairs end up back in 1917, close to the TARDIS. They say the Doctor's really hurried after he's sending that cube, and he's like, no time for goodbye. See you, Carstairs. And he goes, and they say goodbye to Carstairs. And then Carstairs just vanishes.
Into the mist.
Sir, not appearing in this show anymore.
And so they make for the TARDIS, but hey, who's been fucking with the frame rate?
Oh my god, it's the mist that turns you inside out. Run.
Just one sniff of that fog.
Fog, sorry, I said mist, didn't I screwed it up.
But yeah, the Time Lords are doing their thing, and everything is going into slow-mo as the Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe desperately try to get into the TARDIS and talk like this.
So now you know that things are getting seriously heavy.
And that leads us into the finale of the War Games, the final black and white story of Doctor Who, and, as it turns out, the swan song for the Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe. Or the second Doctor, I should say. Jamie and Zoe.
And so part 10 is really, in my mind, what this whole story has been building up to.
Well, I don't know. That's the post-fandom view of it, I feel. Obviously, this is the part that resonates most with the fandom and continuity and whatnot, but I would argue that the story itself, War Games and all that, that's just as important.
Yeah, also, me, fandom, how dare you? You insult me, sir. You grievously wound me with your words.
No, don't worry. I know you just have just as much gonzo taste as the rest of us here.
You know it. Maybe that
you like Rings of Akakan. You're good people in my book.
Maybe that will manifest itself in my next pick. Who knows?
Well, we'll find out. But first, we got to talk about this episode.
Yeah. So, the mist is a force field that's slowing them down. But the Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe managed to get in the TARDIS door by opening it as a team, which is kind of cool. And they're crawling in, but then the inside is affected as well.
Oh no!
So what we're going to do? Well, it's a TARDIS. Let's dematerialise. We might break through the force field. Lo and behold, it sort of works.
Well, for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, because the whole first act of this 10th part is just, we're running away from the Time Lords. We're away from the Time Lords. We're not away from the Time Lords. Let's go further away from the Time Lords.
Hey, it's kind of like that bit in Hellbent. We're running away from your death. We're running away from your death. Why can't we run away from your death fast enough?
Yeah, kind of.
But speaking of running away, this is where is revealed why the Doctor ran away from his home planet.
Do you remember that he wouldn't tell the War Chief why he left?
Yeah.
This is why they were building up to here.
And well, this is the first time it's ever mentioned. The Doctor ran away from the Time Lords because he was bored. All they ever did was observe, but the Doctor wanted to explore the universe.
He wanted to help.
He wanted to help, and so he stole a TARDIS, or a TARDIS stole him, if you believe Neil Gaiman, and they ran away.
Which I would.
Of course.
Yes,
Neil Gaiman.
I
always
do
believe
too,
Neil Gaiman.
Because that's an excellent story, yeah. But, so you were talking about stock footage earlier, and so when the TARDIS proceeds to land on the ocean and then in the ocean, and now I don't know because it's a missing episode, but this could be reused footage from a Second Doctor story called Fury from the Deep, because I remember the shot of the TARDIS landing on water.
Okay.
But I don't know if the people in 1969 took that stock footage and put it here, or if the people reconstructing the Doctor Who episode, because it was missing, took the footage from the War Games and put it here to say, this is the TARDIS landing on water. So I don't know for sure.
And as you say, we get a whole bunch of wackiness where they're trying to escape the Time Lords. They land on the sea, and then they go underwater.
Well, except that everything's not better down where it's water, because it turns out the Time Lords are hacking the defense systems, and it's starting to leak in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
So now we have to dematerialize again, and so they go to outer space. And this shot is, I think you might be able to tell from the fact that there's that a spider seems to have gotten into the TARDIS, is from the Web of Fear.
Right. Is it the same thing where it's from the Web of Fear, or it was used in the reconstruction, or...
No. The episode exists. This is blatantly a Web of Fear.
Okay.
And we're in outer space, but we're going to escape. But then the Time Lord voice says, there's no escape, Doctor. You might as well come in of your own accord. Oh, okay. I will just come in and press all these buttons to get away really quick.
A crocodile shows up. Briefly.
Very briefly.
Yeah, the thing doesn't work, and the Doctor resigns himself, and so they arrive on the Doctor's home planet,
which is not named Gallifrey yet.
Not for another couple of years. It's just, so for intents and purposes, it is just the Doctor's home planet.
But it is Gallifrey.
It is, but it's not.
It will eventually become Gallifrey.
It's Godzilla, but we can't call it that for copyright purposes.
But we should still run like it is Godzilla.
But it isn't.
The planet formerly known as will be known as Gallifrey.
But so the Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe headed the TARDIS onto Gallifrey, and they're ushered into a chamber where the Warlord is undergoing a trial by the Time Lords.
Also, Jamie wants to fight the Time Lord that goes to meet them.
And we've seen one of these Time Lords before, right?
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
Why don't you go into that?
Or rather, we will see him in the future.
No, we have seen him.
I mean, the future of the show.
He's talking about the future of the show.
Yeah, the future of the show.
Oh, well
you're talking about Bernard Horsfall, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. But we have seen him before, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. He was Gulliver in the Mind Robber.
He was Gulliver in the Mind Robber.
And he will be a Time Lord in the Tom Baker story, The Deadly Assassin.
Golf.
Oh.
Which is interesting because, which, if you're going to be fandom brain, there's nothing stopping you from saying that they're at the same time.
I think retroactively they are.
I guess. It kind of fits.
I think in later things he's created as Goth or something, or in the prose he's created as Goth, but...
I mean, the prose does any goddamn thing it wants.
That is true.
But, yeah, so this is where kind of the point of the War Games comes in, and it's not, oh, we finally learned where the Doctor's from and why he stole the time, and how he stole the time machine and ran away. No, it's kind of here, where they put the Warlord on trial. And they're like, you are guilty of killing a bunch of innocent humans in a pointless bloody war. And it's like, hey, isn't that like war? Pointless and bloody and sacrificing a bunch of people for your own gain?
Yeah.
Doctor Who political? Never.
And I mean, the Warlord, well, he'll talk eventually, but he's like, well, what do you have to say in your defense? And he just says nothing. I guess he's saying, if I don't say anything, they can't find me guilty.
Well, the Doctor also says that he's stalling for time.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
The Doctor is called as a witness, isn't he?
Yep.
And he says that, you know, the cube that I sent you, it's all the knowledge in the cube is the truth. It's right. And then the Warlord's like, right, speak, Warlord. And the Warlord doesn't speak. And then the Time Lords say, you offend a contempt of court. And the Warlord says, I had nothing but contempt for this court.
you're working your way back into referencing what did you reference it last time on
Yes.
the show, or were
Yes.
I just thinking of Chad? The 1986 Transformers
I think
movie.
I referenced it last week because yeah, I did, because the Megatron thing, you were about Mercy Now Plead for it. I changed it to Mirrors.
Yeah.
It's almost like I planned it like this or something.
My God.
Oh, I'm too powerful
You're
now,
out of
bitch.
order.
You can't
No,
stop me.
You're out of order.
But anyway, the Warlord eventually is forced to speak by a blinding light.
Unleash the pain spotlight.
Unleash the
Anyway.
Omega Ranger from SPD. No, I will not stop making that joke.
Yeah, the Time Lords are just like, proceed on your way to oblivion.
He's just got like a massive headache and oh, sorry, it's not a light. The light's later. They stare at him.
Well, the spotlight shines on.
Yeah, and they give him the death stare. The death stare causes him to have terrible pain and noise in his ears.
And he basically is just like, I'm not guilty. All those humans would have died anyway. I'm not guilty of anything.
Well, he doesn't just say that. He says, you haven't got the authority to prosecute me.
Yep, he feels that he's above the law. Like many cops.
I could say real life examples, but I'm not going to because they're just depressing right now.
So, meanwhile, we see some Time Lords working on the Doctor's TARDIS for some reason. And they hear a dematerialization noise and they head out. And one of the War Chief's time machines shows up. And out come War Guards who shoot these two Time Lords dead.
They don't regenerate.
They don't regenerate because, again, 1969 and the rules of the generation are rather
special guns that prevent regeneration.
I mean, they do exist in continuity, so maybe.
Yeah, you're learning, Cat. Good.
So the Warlord's guilty, because of course he is.
Yes.
But
then all of his people come in and he's like, am I guilty? Really?
I'm going to escape.
You were about to die. Actually, I think it is you who are about to die, and then come the guards.
And he takes the Doctor, Zoe, and Jamie hostage, and they're going to go into the Doctor's TARDIS and escape.
Yeah, and Jamie's like, well, the Doctor can't control his TARDIS. And the Warlord's like, I don't believe you. You are going to go back to my home planet. You will make me many TARDISes, or Zoe will die.
And so the Doctor resigns himself and heads to push a button on the switch and activates the blinding light button.
I got confused earlier. This is the blinding light.
Yeah, well, it's not a good time for the Warlord and blinding light, but that lets the Doctor, Zoe, and Jamie escape. And the guys are after them, and the Warlord's like, kill them! But then the Time Lords put up a force field. And this is extra.
Yeah, this is like Hellfire and Brimstone consequences time.
Yeah.
So, a force field's been put around the entire planet of the Warlord's people. And they'll be cut off from the universe.
Wow.
Ooh.
If that's not hardcore enough, the Warlord and the guards will never have existed.
Oh my God! There are just shades of new series around here. Like, first, his planet gets basically what Day of the Doctor did to Gallifrey.
Yeah.
And then all of them get the cracks from the Matt Smith
time.
years.
Yeah.
They get. I was going to say they get cracked, but they get. But that's not good phrasing. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Wow, that's really wild.
So they're gone. They've vanished into nothingness, literally nothingness.
And
I would also like to say, up until this point, I was pretty disappointed with these Time Lords because they were kind of meh. They're just some dudes in robes. They don't even have like the silly collars or hats or anything yet. But then they did this, and it was like, okay.
And then 2 minutes later, I hate them again.
But you gotta love the fucking bluff check on Jamie here. Is like, well, that's all sorted out. Come on, Zoe. Come on, Doctor. Let's go home. Hey, what's this force field doing?
Yeah, because now the Doctor's going to be on trial.
Oh my God, it's a trial. of a Time Lord.
Remember 1986 when the show was terrible?
Chris Chibnall does.
Quite.
Unfortunately.
Well, I mean...
I still love you, Colin Baker.
Well, Kat liked Terror of the Vervoids.
I will say the Doctor's trial is some powerful Patrick Troughton acting.
I mean, to be fair, the reason I liked Terror of the Vervoids was because there was none of the trial scenes.
He might have been quite restrained for parts of this, but he just goes full ham here.
This is true, Kat. But, so the Doctor gives his defense, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're guilty of breaking our most important law. You interfered in events. And the Doctor...
boldly go where no doctor has gone before. Oh, wait, wrong series.
But, he's just saying, well, yeah, I admit it, and I'm proud of it, because while you guys only observe evil, I fight against it.
Not the best move in a trial
let
for
me
your
show
life,
you some
really.
evil aliens. Let me show you some evil aliens whose scheme I've stopped. And I don't know if you two are going to get this, but Mike, if you're listening, I know you're very happy, because the first monster the Doctor decides to show is a quark.
I don't know what this is.
The first one he shows, the first creature he shows, the weird little robot thing. That's a quark.
Well, yes, we know that.
We know it's a quark, but what's it from?
It's from a serial called The Dominators, which I don't like very much.
Right.
I don't like that story very much, but Mike apparently stands it, and he stands the quarks. So.
Oh, I remember them now. Yeah.
Mike, here, this moment's for you. Live your bliss. Live your quark appreciation.
They look stupid.
Yes, they do.
Now, Kat, let people enjoy things.
They look stupid.
And so then we see.
Look, this is the Doctor Who podcast. People aren't allowed to join.
The next one's the Yetis.
Yeah, the Yetis.
This does not impress the Time Lords one bit. So it's like, right, okay, you're not impressed with that. Ice Warriors, Cybermen, the Daleks.
Ooh, that last one looks scary. We should probably deal with those.
And he gets a great lines like, I'm guilty of interference, and you're guilty of being passive against evil.
And not helping those in need. So, it's... hey, we were mentioning the trial of Time Lord. This is a better defense than the Doctor saying, I didn't interfere in shit. You're just being a bunch of jerks to me.
I mean, it is a better defense, but also it's not going to admit to the crime you're accused of.
Well, I mean...
in a court of law.
Well, by their societal rules and the regulations and whatnot, the Doctor is opposed to those. So he's like, yeah. But Jamie and Zoe get to see the Doctor, and then they head off, but it's time for them to say goodbye. Aw.
This hurts.
Yeah.
It does.
Having seen quite a bit of the Second Doctor here, and Zoe and Jamie together with Patrick Troughton, this hurts. But
especially Jamie.
To make it worse, they prolong it a little bit, because it's like the Time Lord's there saying you're going to be returned to your time, but they get him to say goodbye to the Doctor, or get him to take him to say goodbye to the Doctor, and then like, can't we get away? Oh, we could try it. They don't get very far. Force field. And the Doctor knows it's the end, so he's like, goodbye, Jamie. But come on, Doctor. Goodbye, Jamie. And that hurts. That really does hurt. That they give you the slight chance that they could get away.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, yeah, it does.
They say goodbye. Oh, goodbye, Doctor. Thanks for everything. We'll never forget you. And they head to the time machine. It dematerializes. The Doctor turns to the Time Lord and he says, they won't remember me, will they?
They get donned.
They sort of done it. The implication is they remember their first encounter with the Doctor, but their timeline's altered so that they don't go on the TARDIS and have adventures.
6 people would like to have a word with you.
Timeless children would like to have a word with you.
That too.
I would like to have a word with you.
Yeah.
The Timeless Children is just season 6B turned up to 11.
Basically.
And a whole bunch of unnecessary bullshit about the division and...
We don't need to bring that up, but yeah.
No, we don't.
So Zoe's returned to her space station, the Wheel, where she came from, like 2040 something or other. I can't remember. The Wheel in Space is
I think they have a
kinda
character from that
honest.
serial show up and talk to her.
It's interesting.
She thinks she's forgotten something important, but she can't remember what it is.
And meanwhile, Jamie, and this is wild, he ends up back in Scotland. A redcoat tries to shoot him, and he's like, "You son of a bitch, I'm gonna kill you." And he charges him.
Is it the same redcoat that he was trapped with, or?
I don't know. That would be deeply ironic, wouldn't it?
It would.
But they're back in their own time, where they belong, to live out the rest of their lives without remembering the Doctor and their adventures. They get done it, basically. Like you said. And so now the Doctor is heading back for his own sentencing. And it's a doozy, and we kind of know how it ends up.
A little bit, yeah.
But they accept the Doctor's claim that evil has to be fought by him. And say, a lot of those invasions happened on the planet Earth, didn't they? I mean, you seem to know the planet pretty well, Doctor. And he's like, yeah, I mean, Earth is a little vulnerable, but I've been there a lot, so it needs protecting. Right, it does. So that's why you're going to protect Earth. You're going to go there, in exile, in the 20th century. And your knowledge of time travel will be taken from your memory.
And also, we're going to change your face.
Yeah, because he says, this is terrible. I could be recognised on there. That could cause some difficulties. Oh, that's all right. You've changed your appearance before. You can do it again.
It's deeply ironic, given the next story, John Pertwee's first. Have you seen it, Rainiac?
I have definitely seen it, yes.
So it's funny that the Doctor here says, oh, people could recognize me on Earth. That could cause difficulties. When being regenerated into John Pertwee, the first half of that story is difficulties stemming from the fact that nobody recognizes him.
Yeah, he gets shot.
Yeah, and the Brigadier doesn't know who he is and all that shit. It's funny. But anyway, they give him a choice of faces, and he's like, no, 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 no.
Too young, too old, too fat,
too thin. That won't do. That won't do at all. So like, well, you won't decide. We'll decide for you. Like, no, bring him back. And then, oh god, the Time Lords are dicks.
Yeah.
You know what? After watching this again, I'm with the Master. I stand with the Master. What he did. The Master did nothing wrong. Well, he did everything wrong because he killed a lot of people.
Yeah, I was going to say something about that.
Yeah. Okay, fine. You don't want to pick a face? We'll pick your face. And so, the Doctor, the Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who, fades away, spins off into the void, into exile.
What's his final words? No.
No.
As he's spinning away.
Since we don't see the regeneration, and some people got very upset about him being older in the Two Doctors and other continuity references, we got Season 6B. And that brought us Timeless Children, and that brought us to hell.
Can I also bring up, since you brought up 6B, can I bring up something about the Warlord?
Oh God, are you going to talk about the Time Worm book?
Well, there is a prose story where he is brought back somehow.
That's what you were going to talk about.
And then falls into the flame of Khan.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He ends up on the planet Khan. So it's funny how you mentioned, Brain and Morbius, Philip Maddox was in it. Well, this is where the Warlord ends up.
That's what that's what the writer is obviously doing.
Yeah.
He's like, Philip Maddox was in the War Games and Brain and Morbius. Let's connect them.
And then they fight, and he falls into the flame and dies.
Right.
But that's a 6B story because he goes back to the Time Lords having finished off the Warlord, and they said, right, well now your memories will be wiped, like the last time, and it's wiped and he can't remember it.
Oh God Almighty. Yeah.
And I also want to mention that this whole ending with him spinning around and it's cliffhanger regeneration.
Yeah.
We might be getting that again this year.
Yeah, probably.
There are rumours that we know that the regeneration was not in the TARDIS for Jodie Whittaker.
Mm.
And it might be that we don't see who she regenerates into.
Mm.
I mean, it's like, what, 7 months?
I'm not against it, honestly.
It's like what, 9 months until the end of the until our episode. And
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am not against the idea simply because it's something different for the modern series.
I mean, true.
As long as the answer isn't David Tennant. But that was.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Time Worm. It was Save Yourself.
I don't know what that is, but anyway. But
oh God, I just said about Time Worm. Yeah, we won't mention that. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's bad.
But that was the 10-part epic of the War Games.
Okay. May I go first to wrap this up?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay, so this is far too long, first of all. It did not need to be 10 parts long. You could have cut this in half. And honestly, I don't know if this is seen as a classic. I'm not sure I like it that much. I appreciate it's important, but there are so many repeated scenes and repeated ideas, like somebody gets captured, somebody gets taken to the security chief to be questioned, and then it happens with another character, and then another character. The bits I do like, and I'm doing the whole 10-part story now, not just the bits we've talked about today.
Well, yes, because that's what we decided to do last time.
Carstairs is a great character. He's brave, he gets a lot of stuff to do. The Warlord is a very menacing villain, despite doing very little, but he's a nice background presence when he finally turns up in part 7. I like the bickering between the War Chief and the Security Chief. But there's just so much filler in there that it just stretches far too long. That's all I have to say about it, really.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, Rain, you know how you were saying it was a classic?
Yeah.
It was a classic? Want to guess what place it made on the infamous Doctor Who Magazine 2014 poll?
I'm going to say top 30 and then be sad.
Well, you can be sadder than that. 12th place.
No way!
Higher than Dalek.
What?
Higher than the 11th Hour. Higher than Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways. Yeah.
They're all modern classics in their own... What?
Yeah. So I'll go next if that's okay.
Yeah, please. My brain just broke. Carry on.
I don't think it's 12th place, but I enjoy my time rewatching it. But again, at the same time, you're not wrong. It has a lot of problems, mainly that it's 10 episodes long and padded to all hell because it's a 60s serial. But and this is a problem that doesn't really get solved because the next season has 3 7-parters, and we went through Inferno. We know how that padded things out too.
Yeah.
But what's here is interesting. Even ignoring I would set aside the whole it sets the mythos, and now we know that the Doctor is a renegade Time Lord who stole the TARDIS and ran away. That seems to be the only part people who say rank the story in 12th place care about. But the other 8 episodes have their charms, and it has something interesting to say about bickering and war and the point and using it for pointless gain and whatnot. There's some strong commentary there. There's some good characterization. Just break it up into chunks if you're going to watch it. And also, Arturo, gotta ding it a bit for that, of course. But honestly, I can think of worse Patrick Troutons to watch. It's just the only thing that would really keep you from throwing this on as a casual. Okay, let's watch a couple episodes of this thing. Is that it's massively long. It's kind of like committing to watching a really long movie like The Godfather or Titanic, except honestly, it's not as good as either of those movies. But that's an unfair comparison to compare old 60s Doctor Who to 2 blockbuster best of all time movies that haven't been long as well. But we're not seriously comparing them. But anyway, the War Games. It's fine, I guess, but has its problems.
Okay, Kat, did you regret picking this or not?
I mean, no, I don't regret picking it. It was fairly interesting for the most part. As I've already said, it could have been cut down and a lot of the fat, drained out of it. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. So we kind of have to go based off of what we got, and what we got wasn't bad. There was a lot of filler in it, and I kind of wish that there wasn't all that filler because we have some really great actors and actresses here, and I mean it's the last hurrah of the Second Doctor. You could have, done a little bit better. I mean, I guess that's the reason behind the 10 episode epic. But, again, still. Story-wise, it's pretty good. It's got, some twists and turns, and it has the introduction of the Time Lords, which is, critical to the whole Doctor Who mythos thing. I still don't really agree with the people who, made the poll, but, gonna do.
When have we ever?
Yeah, when have we ever? So, all in all, I would say I would maybe watch this again, if only to introduce Chris to it, because I'm horrible like that. But this is definitely not something I would sit down and watch again.
Honestly, you'd have more fun showing your Colin Baker stories.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're trashy, but you'd have more fun,
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of having more fun, I do believe Rainiac is up next.
Well, I don't know if you're going to have more fun next week or not, really.
Because he's picking for the Doomsday.
No, I'm not picking for the Doomsday.
Yay.
Okay.
And I'm
Edric's
not
memory shall live
even
on.
picking a fifth Doctor story. I'm not even picking a classic Doctor story. We're
Oh.
going back to the modern era next week because next week is Valentine's Day.
Oh, no.
And I'm not a fan of Valentine's Day, personally.
We already did Love and Monsters. You can't.
No, wait. Just let me get the pick out before you jump down my throat. I'm not a huge fan of Valentine's Day, personally. But there are people out there that are a fan of Valentine's Day. So to mark the occasion, I wanted just to cover a love story in Doctor Who. Now, there aren't many self-contained love stories in this show, surprisingly. But there is one I've found that's a bit unconventional.
Oh.
So next time...
Oh, I know what this is.
So next time, Matt Smith stars in Hyde.
Oh! I was not expecting this. You know what I was expecting?
Yeah?
Girl in the Fireplace.
I did think about that, but we can do that another time.
Yeah.
Do we really need more David Tennant?
Also, that story makes me cry, so...
Listen, I'm not going to complain because this means we get more Clara.
Exactly, and I will level with you. First time I watched Hyde, wasn't the biggest fan.
Mainly, I remember Hyde as the moment where I first committed to the Underwater Menace as a bit. Now
Yeah,
look at this.
that was 9 years ago. Feel old yet?
Extremely.
Yes.
But, yeah, other fans have said that Hyde is actually really, really good. Including Nerdcubed.
Isn't Hyde by the guy who also wrote Rings of Akaten?
I think it is. I'll just check that.
Neil Cross?
Yeah, that's the guy.
That's the man.
Okay.
And Hyde was written by...
Neil Cross.
Hyde was written by Neil Cross, and he did Rings of Akaten. Yeah, okay.
I love that we've done like half of 7B now.
These are his only two stories that he's written.
And well, at least one of them is an absolute banger of an emotional...
I am willing to give Hyde another chance to impress me because other people, as I said, have said it's really good. In fact, they've called it a modern day classic. Right up there with Rings of Akaten. Now, I don't know if I believe in that, but I like the guest cast. And it certainly fits the unconventional love story thing I was going for.
Yeah, I like this is an out of left field pick. I like this.
I can get behind this.
And you thought I was picking for the Doomsday.
You picked Clara.
I mean, I didn't.
You picked Clara. Oh,
yeah.
You're too...
You do like us.
It's a Valentine's Day present. You gave me a Valentine and her name's
I'll
Clara.
be grumpy on Valentine's Day, but this is a present. There's a reason I'll be grumpy on Valentine's Day that I'm not going to get into because it's personal. But anyway.
Yeah.
Is it because you're single? Because I feel that.
Well, let's just say that I refer to Valentine's Day as Singleton Awareness Day, as in sad.
Same.
Oh, that's yeah. That's rough, buddy.
Hopefully one day that will change when I'm not on.
Well, why don't I cheer you up, Rainiac, by asking you where you can find us, lovely.
That does cheer me up. Also, like I said, I was going to talk about it, and then immediately started talking about it.
You talked about it without talking.
You drew me into it. You drew me into the trap. You can find us, lovely people, on Twitter at Reviews Doctor. Individually, we are found at Reniac the Maniac, at Freezing Inferno, and at Concave Usurper. Cat sometimes streams video games at twitch.tv/Concave Usurper, and Frezno sometimes streams video games at twitch.tv/Freezing Inferno. I did not stream video games yet, but maybe I will in the future.
All you need is to pay some money and get some screen caps, and you can be a VTuber too.
Pay money? Have you seen how much the cost of living is going up in this country?
I feel that.
I need to keep my house warm to live.
Yeah, the energy company just put a 693% price hike on energy prices.
I pay $500 for a shoebox.
Christ almighty. I should probably do another stream sometime when it's not, apocalyptic ice storm bullshit.
Yeah, I hope the power cut, goes away in time for you to get home tomorrow. That's.
Well, yeah, and that and the weather. Well, I'll have to figure that out.
That's why we're recording this on Saturday instead of usual Sunday.
Yeah. But you don't know that at home because this is it's like Wednesday.
Well, you do now because I've just said it and left.
You're getting a peek behind the curtain.
All the secrets just come tumbling out now.
Oh dear God, Rainiac, say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, Rainiac.
Thank you to you, the audience listeners, talk about the war games or the final 5 episodes of the war games. Thank you to Kat and Jerry for keeping me company while we discuss the war games. And join us next time for an unconventional love story with Hyde. Until then, bye for now.
I want you all to know before we go that Blazy just picked up his anime game and he sent an anime girl into a mirror to go back to her dimension. I'm so proud of him.
I want you to know I'm screaming internally right now.
Rainiac, tell you what, just to be nice, because I am also very sad, I'll be your Valentine for this year.
Aww.
And you also give me that green card.
Hey, also tell them how many Sky Strikers you pulled today in Master Duel.
A lot of them.
There.
Ah, yes, that well-known number. A lot.
Yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a lot.
Is that a UR or an SR card?
Yes. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night, Bob.
Russell tries to talk more down, and Von Vein's like, "It's no use. He won't listen to you." And there's a fight.
That's my cellular telephone, so I'll be back in a second here.
I would have laughed so hard if he had turned his cell phone ringtone into that song.
I don't think he had the full set to do that. That would have been very funny.